Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing a full set of acrylic nails. So of course, the first thing that I'm going to do is go in and push back those cuticles. You want to make sure that you never skip this step because this is going to expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting. Once we finish pushing back the cuticles, we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band. I'm using my Scarlet Melody Susie nail drill, and I'm using it at 5,000 RPMs. And we're just removing the shine from the nail. And then also I'm using that same sanding band to just file down the actual length of the nail. That way it kind of saves us a little bit time instead of having to go in and cut them down and shape them up. I can just do it all at once while I'm removing the shine. So again, a 180 sanding band, going from the right side over to the left side, going back and forth around the cuticle area, and then of course removing the shine from the rest of the nail, and then just following the free edge to shorten the length. We're going to do this on both nails, and then we can move on to the next step. Also, I want to remind you guys that this step is super important because if you don't remove the shine, your nails will lift. We all know that our body produces a lot of oils. Those oils happen to be on our natural nails. And if you don't remove that shine, the nails are going to come off really easily. I always say it's like oil and water. They just don't mix together. So if you put acrylic over a shiny surface, it's going to come right off. So that's why you have to go in and remove the shine. And when you remove the shine, it kind of roughens up the surface of the nail bed. That way the acrylic kind of, adheres to the nail bed really good, and it doesn't come off. Also remember that when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you do not go back and touch the natural nail, because then you could put oils from your own hands and fingers onto their nail bed, and it kind of defeats the purpose. So make sure that again you do not touch their natural nail. Also make sure that they're not eating anything, that they're not touching anything, because if not, you're gonna have to go in and do this again. But after we finish removing the shine, we're gonna go in and apply the nail tips. Remember that when we apply the nail tips, we make sure that the nail tips fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want them to be too big or too small, literally from sidewall to sidewall. It's super important because if not, your nails will break or lift up pretty easily as well. And I'm using my clear nail tips, and then I'm also using the KDS glue, which will be back on my website really soon once I restock again. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the nail tips, and then also remember that the nail tips come in a number, usually a 0 to a number 10, 0 being your biggest nail tip, 10 being your smallest nail tip. And usually I kind of can just look at a nail and know what number it is, and that's just for me doing nails for so long. But just make sure that you measure each nail bed individually, because some will be different. I know for a fact that my right hand is a bit bigger than my left one, so some nails on my right hand I have to apply just a little bit bigger than the ones on my left side. I know a lot of people are that way, so you want to make sure that you measure each finger individually. Alrighty, so once we apply the nail tips, I'm going to go in and just trim the nails down to her desired length. And then after that, I'm also going to go in and just trim down the sides of the nails, because we're going to be doing a coffin shape. So by us trimming the sides, it's just going to save us time from having to, file so much whenever we start shaping. So to trim the sides, we're going to use a straight edge nail clipper, and then also, of course, make sure that you go in and measure each nail against each other to make sure that they're all the right size. And then we go in with the straight edge nail clipper to trim down the sides. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in and just shape up the nails. Again, we're doing a coffin shape. So we're going to be following the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. Remember that your shape is all about the angle of your hand file. So remember, it's exactly a 90-degree angle. Make sure that when you're doing this, you're paying attention to what you're doing and not just falling, all over the place, because trust me, I've seen it. So make sure that you're watching your shape change as you go. That way you know exactly where you need to file a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and do this on all of the nails. As you can see, I'm not having to do so much filing because since we cut the sides of the nails, we kind of cut them already into a coffin shape. So we just have to go in and perfect the shape. Alrighty, so after I shape the nails, I just dust them off and then I'm going in with the Young Nail Protein Bond. And this just helps the acrylic adhere a lot better to the nail. So we're just going to apply that on the natural nail. And then after this, we're going to go in with the acrylic. So of course, I'm going to be using Mamiya's Secret acrylic system in the color pink. And we are going to be doing 2 nails with the glitter. So I'm going to do those last because we know that the glitter can get pretty messy. So of course, I just applied the first bead right closer to the cuticle area. As you can see with me using the Mamiya's Secret, we all know that it is a little bit runnier, which could be or is good for beginners because it gives you enough time to kind of play around with it. Well, if you are a little bit more advanced and you feel like it's a little bit too runny for you, you could add a little bit of acetone into your little dappinish with monomer, and it makes it like dry a lot faster. So as you can see, for that nail, it only took me 2 beads because it's again a lot, how would I say it, like it's just not as runny, so it helps you work with it a lot faster. But of course, it's going to be different for each nail, just depending on how big the first bead is. But remember that you could always stick to the 4-ball method if you need to. It's just going to be different. For me, I kind of just go, and do things as I go. But again, it's good as beginners to use a certain method. That way you're not just adding acrylic, you're actually using some sort of method or pattern, or whatever is just easiest for you. But again, I'm just going ahead and doing these 3 fingers first, and then I'm going to be doing the glitter on the other nails. But remember that when you're applying acrylic, the most important part is to make sure that when you're applying the acrylic, to be really gentle. You don't want to brush down too hard, you don't want to pat down too hard, because then you're going to make the acrylic run all over the place. And if you do get acrylic on the skin, make sure that you wipe it off as soon as you can, like literally immediately after it gets on the skin, because once it dries off, it's going to be really hard to take off, and most likely you will get lifting. So then after that, we're gonna go ahead and do the nails with the glitter. So of course I'm going in and I'm gonna do the small bead over the entire nail, and then I'm gonna go in with the glitter. And this glitter I actually bought a while back on eBay, but she does have an Instagram, and her Instagram is Coco Glitter Bells, and she has some really pretty glitters. So I'll be sure to leave her information down below for you guys, so you guys can go check it out. But I'm gonna do that on the middle finger and the ring finger. Once we have the glitter down, as you can see, I'm doing kind of like a slightly ombre nail with the glitter. So the glitter is coming from, of course, the cuticle area, and it's spreading out as it goes down towards the tip. And then of course I'm going to encapsulate this. I'm going to use the Mia Secret Pink. As always, you can use the clear. I just choose to use the pink because I have a lot of it, and it's really translucent. And you guys will see once I'm done that it's super translucent. It almost turns out clear. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and encapsulate this. Remember that when you're doing nails with any type of, loose glitter or strips, you want to make sure that you encapsulate the nail really good, and it's not too thin, because if not, you will file away your glitter whenever you come back in to file. So remember to always look at your nail from the sides to make sure that you have a nice thickness and a nice apex and a nice thickness at your tip. So same thing for the ring finger. We did the layer of the Mia Secret Pink underneath. The reason why I go in and do a base with just, a thin layer is just so next time whenever she comes, if she doesn't want that same glitter there, I could just file it away, and then we'll still have acrylic underneath, and that way we don't have to take those nails off. We could just fill them in, again, the next time that she comes. So we're going to go ahead and apply the glitter, again placing it closer to the cuticle area, brushing it down towards the tip, making it into an ombre, and then afterwards I'm going to come back in and encapsulate it, and we're going to do the exact same thing on the other hand. Alrighty, so once we finish applying the acrylic, we're going to go in with the same 100 nail file, and I'm going to be reshaping the nails. So same thing, going in on the sides and the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle. As you know, once we apply the acrylic, it kind of takes away from the shape a little bit, and then it also leaves little rough edges, so we just have to go in and redefine that shape. Alrighty, so after I finish shaping the nails, we're going to go in with the extra fine drill bit to file the nails, of course, around the cuticle area first, and then filing the rest of the nail as we go. But make sure that you focus around that cuticle area first. Make sure that you seal that cuticle area really good, because if not, you will get lifting. Any little gap that you leave in between the natural nail and the acrylic, water can get trapped under there, and it could cause the nail to lift or to have a greenie. So you want to make sure that you seal that area super good. Usually I file until I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way I know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then again, I also file the rest of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And also make sure that when you're doing this, that you look at your nail from different angles. That way, if you still have any little bumps and lumps, so you will be able to see them. And remember that if you are a beginner, your nails may be, slightly thicker, or you might have a bump here or there. So just make sure that you spend a little bit more time, filing the nails during this part, because this is the only way that you can get rid of any bumps and lumps is by filing the nail, whether it's with a drill or your hand file. But you're not going to be able to get rid of those bumps unless you file. So I just wanted to mention that, because I know I get that question asked a lot. People are like, hey, I filed the nail but I still have bumps. Well, the only way again to get rid of them is by filing. So that's why you have to look at your nail from different angles. That way you know exactly where you need to file some more. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this hand and do the same thing on the other hand. But again, really important that you focus around that cuticle area until you are able to see the cuticle area, the natural nail, and the acrylic. Alrighty, so after we finish filing the nails, we're going to go in with the buffer and we're just going to buff the nails really good. And this is just going to get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. And of course, I always go back in and check each finger or nail individually to make sure that it's nice and smooth. If not, I go in and buff a little bit more. Alright, so after I finish buffing, I just dust the nails off and then I'm going in and wiping them off with an alcohol wipe. And then after this, we're going to go in with the polish. And for my polish, I'm going to be using my Madam Glam gel polishes. As you guys know, I absolutely love them. They go on so good and they have a beautiful color collection. So the first color that I'm using is this really pretty pink color, and we're gonna do that on the index finger and the thumb, and I'm gonna leave the pinky clear because I'm gonna apply some bling on it. So again, we're just gonna do the index finger and thumb, of course curing each coat for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna apply some bling as well. Alrighty, so going in with the second coat of gel polish, and then on the index finger, I'm going to be doing a marble nail. And for that, I'm going to use, it's going to be, I don't know if you would still call this a marble, but I'm going to use that same pink and then a peachy color. And I'm just going to do a few dots of the polish. Make sure that they're kind of, thick. And then after that, I'm going to go in with a cuticle pusher, sorry, not a cuticle pusher, a dotting tool. And I'm just going to swirl the colors together. And this is more like a water marble, I guess, effect. What would you call this? Is it a marble? Let me know down below so I'm not saying the wrong thing. But again, I'm just swirling the two colors together. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and cure this hand for another 30 seconds. And we're going to do the same thing on the other hand. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in with the bling. So I'm using the Soleil nail adhesive, and we're just applying that around the perimeter of the nail. And I'm going to do a SS6 and then, sorry, a SS12 and then the SS6 all the way around the perimeter of the nail. As you guys know, I've been using the Soleil nail adhesive for a while. I used to use the Mia Secret gel resin, which worked good, but the Soleil nail adhesive definitely works a lot better. I have clients that come maybe every 3 weeks. I have some that come once a month, and their bling stays on really good. You know, they might be missing 1 and 2, you know, 3 rhinestones here and there, but for the most part they still look really good. And then whenever it's time to take them off, they're still pretty hard to remove, so I do highly recommend them. I don't have a promo code for her website, but I believe each glue or each little bottle is like $10, and then she has a bundle with the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator Spray and the glue for about $17. So it's not that bad, and it does last you a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this pinky. After this, we're just gonna spray the nails with the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, which is gonna help that glue dry a lot faster. And then I'm gonna go in with my favorite top coat, which is the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat. We're gonna apply that on all of the nails, and then we're gonna cure this for 60 seconds, and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other hand. Alrighty y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out really pretty. I love that glitter, and as you can see, that is the Mia Secret Pink Acrylic, and it looks pretty clear to me. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.